Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Talks. I'm Coach Stefanie, filling in for the Conways today. And I'm going to give everybody just a moment to hop on. And I'm going to make sure that we are live streaming everywhere that we should, since I haven't done this in a little while. So I want to make sure that everything is working how I need it to. So give me just a moment here. So it does not look like we are live on Instagram yet. Okay. Hello, Radina. Good to see you. Okay, I am having some issues with Instagram, but hopefully I will have those resolved in just a moment so we can get started. In the comments, let me know how your Tuesday is going so far, how your week is going, and all that, good stuff as I'm connecting to Instagram. So hopefully people there can see us as well. It looks like it's working now. Okay, perfect. There we go. Hello. Welcome to Tuesday Talks. I'm Coach Stefanie, and I'm really excited to be here, filling in for the Conways who can join us today. So yeah, I am one of our member meeting coaches, and so today I thought I would talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is to talk about all of the amazing things that Healthi has to offer. Hello, Lydia. Hello, Joy. Sunshine. Hello, Christine. Good seeing you all here today. I know it's a little bit of a surprise that I am here, unless you saw the previews about what we're going to be talking about. So, first off, I want to, kind of set the scene a little bit and talk about why is it so helpful as we are trying to lose weight to kind of surround ourselves with some of that weight loss focused media. And in our meetings, we've talked about, the good, bad, and the ugly of social media a couple of times. But I do think that surrounding yourself with social media or media in general that supports your weight loss goals can be a really powerful tool to help you in your journey. And that is for a couple of different reasons. The first one is that it helps your brain kind of stay connected to the topic. Your brain works on exposure, and so things that you hear repeatedly become more automatic in your brain. So if you're constantly, surrounded by people who are making healthy choices, where healthy choices are top of mind, you're less likely to fall into autopilot behaviors that are your, not so healthy behaviors. And instead, you're more likely to be reminded of your goals as you're making choices. The next one is that it helps reinforce identity, and that is a big one. Behavior change is so connected to your identity, and changing your identity and your mindset to one where you focus on making good and healthy choices. And so if you listen to content about people prioritizing movement, getting in enough water, planning their meals, navigating setbacks, you also start to think, this is what people do. And so that's what I do. And so it's your first thought when you have to make a decision is, people make these choices, these good for them choices. I'm one of those people. Um, and so you're more likely to make these good for you choices as well. It also helps you normalize the struggles and remove some of that shame that we can sometimes feel in our journey, especially when we're doing something wrong or we're falling off track or we're struggling with emotional eating or we don't really have the motivation right now. If we're exposed to other people on this journey, we're also exposed to their struggles and understanding that all of this is part of the process. It's not something to be ashamed about. It's not something that, you need to hide from others on this journey. It's a normal part of human behavior change. And being exposed to that will make you understand that if you slip up, it's not a big deal. You can still continue on in your journey without it really affecting you all that much. Next up is it helps you pick up different strategies that you can utilize in your day-to-day life without you feeling like that you have to like study or research all of these things. You absorb those ideas more passively, like meal hacks, mindset shifts, habit strategy, and swaps that you might want to try out as well. And you don't even have to implement all of those things that you see, but you're slowly adding to your toolbox of options. This week, for example, in our meetings, we talk about cottage cheese. And I hadn't tried cottage cheese for years, but I had it in my kind of weight loss toolbox as an option, as something that I can add to my meals to up the protein. And then when I was finally ready to make the jump and actually try cottage cheese, I already had a ton of ideas of how I could use it and what would be good ways to utilize cottage cheese without running into any of like the texture issues and so on. And the very first time I had cottage cheese, I blended it into some eggs and it worked perfectly. No issues for me whatsoever because I'd already learned about cottage cheese. I'd watched other people utilize cottage cheese in their meals. And so I'd added all of those things to my toolbox, even though I didn't use them right away. Just having been exposed to that gave me those ideas. It also helps boost motivation but in a sustainable way, not in the, Barbie doll, I want to be that super skinny way, but in a realistic way. It's not just a hype, it's seeing what's possible, hearing those success stories, and getting those small nudges to keep going. If this person can do it, I can do it too. That kind of motivation. That's real, that's raw, and that can help you take that next step. It also helps you reconnect with your why because most of the time, as you are consuming this media, people are going to share their whys, and it's going to remind you of the importance of your why in this journey, especially when you're feeling stuck. And it helps you change your environment without having to like drastically change your life. We often just think that our environment is like the food in our house and whether we have time to exercise, but our digital environment has become more and more important as the whole digital world expands as most of us spend most of our time on our phones, on our computers. We spend more time in digital environments. So those environments are also important factors in our life, not just the food we have in our house and how often we exercise. Our feed is often full of like people getting takeout, diet extremes, starting over Monday content that can like pull you one way. So it's really important as you are thinking about the social media that you are consuming to really find people that you can relate to. You want your feed to be full of balanced meals, realistic habits, and supportive voices, not the negative diet culture that can sometimes prevail. But all of our, especially social media feeds, have gotten really, really good about reinforcing the things that we're looking for and the things that we're interacting with. So you are in charge of what you end up consuming. If you keep watching all of these like extremely skinny, probably photoshopped bikini models, that's what you're going to see. If you follow real life people with real life struggles in their weight loss journeys, that's what you're going to see in your feed. And those are the social media things that can really help support you in your journey, because those people that are real are going to talk about the struggles. They're going to share their journey with you. They're going to share their successes. They're going to share the things that are hard for them. And that's what you want. You want to experience all of it. You want the real journey, right? Not the social media curated, everything is perfect lifestyle. It also helps you kind of stay in the middle ground. You want to make sure that you get that balanced content so you can stay in the middle ground. You don't want extreme restriction. You don't want all or nothing cycles. You don't want burnout. You want content that focuses on sustainability. You want people that believe in progress over perfection. So keep that in mind as you are thinking about the types of social media or the types of media in a digital landscape in general that you are consuming. So, how can Healthy help you with that? I guess that's the big question that I wanted to answer today. We've covered that it is a helpful tool to have that media exposure, especially when you're in a low, when you're needing a little bit of extra motivation. So here are some ways that Healthy can help support you in your journey that you might not have heard of before. If you're part of my member meetings, chances are you've heard of those before because I love sharing those. But if you're not, here are some of the things that Healthy can do for you. First off, we have our Healthi app. That is probably the thing most of you know about and utilize. We have the app that helps you with tracking. We have several different programs within the app. I think most people are familiar with that. But what a lot of people are not familiar with is the fact that we actually have recipes on the app as well. We have whole meal plans on the app that you can find kind of like at the bottom under the recipe section. There's whole curated full weeks of how you can eat to help you either get started, get inspiration, restart your journey, especially if you're feeling like you're in a rut and you tend to eat the same things over and over again. It can be really great to look at a meal plan like that and get some ideas of other things that you might be able to incorporate into your day to day, or other ways to split up your bites in your meals. You might be somebody that's very much like, oh, I'm just having, a couple of bites for breakfast, and then I'm eating, a medium sized lunch, and the majority of my bites goes into dinner. And that might work for you, but it might get to a point where your body's really used to that and you're looking for a change. And then you might look at a meal plan and you realize, this meal plan has three full meals, has a good breakfast, a good lunch, a good dinner, and it also has two snacks. So you're eating more regularly instead of, eating just a little bit for breakfast and then like slowly ramping up how much you're eating throughout the day, which is, a style of eating that a lot of people tend to do, especially if you're not a morning person. And just switching over how you're eating can have a big impact on your journey, especially if your body has kind of gotten used to how you're eating. So utilize those ideas for meal plans. You can use full recipes from it. You can use the whole plan. Just with one click, you can say, put this whole plan into my tracker and it will like pre-track that whole week, all of those 5 or 7 days for you in your app, which makes it even easier because then you don't even have to track or do anything, right? So that's really nice. There's also the community, which is a pro feature where you can, post your own recipes. You can share your success stories, your struggles, see how other people are doing. That can be a really great way, especially, obviously, most of you guys do use social media in some form or fashion, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, which is how you're seeing me right now. But if you are ever like, I don't want social media right now, I'm good with media, but I want to take a break from social media, for example, the community can be a great way for you to still connect with other people without getting like the full social media experience, if you know what I mean, right? So that's the Healthi app for you. One of my favorite things about Healthi, obviously, are the member meetings, which is an additional cost that run through Facebook, and you can sign up through our Facebook page. We have a group of really amazing coaches at different stages of their life, different experiences with weight loss, and we all kind of like do regular meetings. There's generally about 2 meetings a day. Most days we have a morning meeting and an evening meeting. We try to make them at like, different times so that as many people as possible can join us. And we meet on Zoom, and we generally have a meeting topic for the week. As I had mentioned, this week's topic is cottage cheese, which is a protein powerhouse. So we talk a little bit about the weekly topic, share some insights on that. And then afterwards, we generally have some, back and forth conversation wherever our conversation leads us. We've made full like 180 turns in some of my meetings where we start up over here and then we go over there and then we end up somewhere over here in our conversation. It's really based off of what members want to talk about. And that's why I love having our Zooms. It's because people can talk to each other, they can talk to me, they can ask questions, they can share recipe, they can share pictures. We see each other's pets, we see each other's children. We really kind of build a really supportive community, and it's supported not only by the Zoom meetings but also by a Facebook group where we again can connect even more throughout this journey. And I think this support is really, really helpful for a lot of people that are on this journey and that want to talk more to other people on the same journey. We share the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm a coach there and I share my struggles. I share the things that don't work as well. I'm real with people. Our members are real with each other. And I think that makes it a really, really great community. Like I said, it's one of my favorite perks of Healthi. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased in that regard. And I do see that some of the people joining here today are also meeting members. So if that's something that you're interested in, check out the Facebook page. You sign up per month, so you can cancel at any time. If it's not for you, if the membership's not for you, we totally understand. So that's the other thing, meetings. If you ever want to know our meeting schedule or the topic for the week, we generally do post that on our Healthi social media channels, our Facebook and our Instagram, which is the next thing that I want to talk about. So on generally like the weekend to Monday, we share the schedule for the next week. So if you want to know whether or not you would even be able to join any of the meetings before committing to paying something, you can see that there. If the meetings are the topics are interesting to you, you can kind of get a little bit of a glimpse of what we are going to be talking about through our Healthi social media channels. But that's not all that we're posting on our Healthi social media pages. Another really cool thing that we do on Instagram and Facebook is that Coach Delicia is posting a Monday motivation. So she generally posts a short little video clip encouraging people, sharing some insight on Mondays. And you can always go back and rewatch those on the channels. We also generally post a recipe video every single day, Monday through Friday. So there's tons of inspiration, and there's a big span. Like there's breakfast, there's lunch ideas, dinner ideas, quick meals, crock pot, instant pot, desserts, You name it, we've probably posted something under that category. So there's a wide variety for many different tastes with vegetarian recipes. Lots of really fun, great things to get you inspired, get you into the kitchen, and try some new recipes. We also post challenges that you can join. Sometimes you can even win something in those challenges. Sometimes it's just, a challenge for yourself to help you in your journey. And we also share all of our blog posts and podcasts. Wow, saying those two together is kind of difficult. And that brings me to the next thing, our healthyapp.com website. It's sometimes a little bit tricky to find that website because I always just want to type in healthy.com, but it is healthyapp.com, hosts our blog. So if you're not necessarily somebody who loves listening to people, or you might be in a situation where you currently can't listen to somebody, like you're at a doctor's appointment, or somewhere else where you can't really watch a video or listen to something, but you still want to consume some of that good content, check out our blog. We have a lot of coaches that write guest posts, and we have lots of other really great content on the blog about different things. I've written articles about, different ways to make coffee house drinks at home, motivation, how hormones affect you, all kinds of different topics that you might want to learn about, and that could be really beneficial for you. We also have all of the recipes that we're sharing on Facebook and Instagram as a video. We have those on the website under a recipe tab. So if you ever watch one of the recipe videos and you're like, this is great, all of the ingredients and everything's in the caption, but it's going to be really hard for me to follow along with that while I'm cooking, go to our website. We have them all typed out there in a format that might make it a little bit easier for you to follow along as you are cooking. And then another thing that I obviously want to highlight as we are talking about the website is that we have a quiz on the website that can help you choose your plan. When people are new to the Healthi app, oftentimes we hear the question, well, what plan should I go with? I'm a diabetic. What's the best plan for me? I'm this or that. What plan should I try? This quiz is designed to answer that question for you, not for me, for you. It's designed to help you answer that question. It's a bunch of questions that you fill out, and then at the end, it pops up with, we think this is a good plan for you to start off with. And that can kind of give you an idea of what you might want to try. And then you can try out that plan, and in a month, you can come back and think about, was this really the right plan for me or not? And if it wasn't the right plan for you, you probably have a little bit more insight into why it wasn't the right plan for you. And that's where, the community, the member meeting groups, or whatever can help you figure out what other plan you might want to try next if this first one wasn't quite right for your lifestyle yet. Because that's the beauty about Healthi, is that we have several different plans that you can choose from. And if the first one doesn't fit your lifestyle, you just pick a different one that's going to fit your lifestyle and your needs a little bit better. And then last but not least, we have the podcast. So our podcast is available through Spotify. It's available through Apple, basically everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. And on there, you can listen to the Tuesday Talks. So this is eventually going to land up on the podcast. Hello, podcast listeners, if this is where you are listening to this too. But we also have other content that is specific to the podcast. Our community manager, Ashley, has a series where she posts a podcast, I think, every week on different topics that are important for weight loss. We have Mindful Moments with Coach Delicia. Our coach, Lisa, also has a very regular series called Lisa's Corner, where she shares some of her experience. And then, like I said, the Conways. And the good part about all of those media platforms is that not only are we constantly generating new content for you, but you can also go back and listen to, watch, and read older articles, podcasts, and blogs, because a lot of this information doesn't expire. What I talked about or wrote about in the blog 4 years ago about how I'm meal prepping still works today. It's not like that's outdated content. So as we're adding new stuff, you can read new things, but you can also go back into the history, into older articles, and read even more. So it's even less likely for you to ever run out of good ideas or good things to read and help you create this environment, like we talked about earlier, that can help you add more strategies to your toolbox and get your head into that right mindset, so that the first decision that you're thinking of is the healthier choice, because that's what people around you are doing. That's what you're reading in the blog, listening to on the podcast, seeing here on Facebook and Instagram, the choices that we're making. In the comments, let me know if you have known about all of these things that Healthi offers, or if maybe I surprised you with something new that you were not aware of. And I feel like this is one of the things that usually happens when we talk about it in our meetings, something that you knew existed, but kind of forgot about and are like, oh, I need to go back and check this out. I think generally that's kind of like the blog and the podcast. Those two are often things where when we talk about all of these cool things, other things that Healthi has to offer, where people are like, oh yeah, I knew that there was a blog, but I haven't checked it out in months, years. I need to go back to going ahead and reading the blog. So in the comments, let me know if any of these apply to you, if you've learned something new, because I haven't seen any new comments come in at all. Hello, Regina. Instagram is a little bit difficult with comments because I somehow can't scroll like back in the comments. I can only see them like as they're popping in. But I'm going to go back and forth and hopefully I will see the comments. I don't see any comments for Facebook right now, which is a little bit weird and a little bit uncommon. Oh, Lydia, thank you. Thank you, Lydia, for letting me know that it is still working and that there are still people here listening to me blabber on. So find your support, find the best way that you can consume this media. If social media is, getting too overwhelming, maybe switch to focusing on blogs or podcasts for a little while. If you, have to drive to an office every single day, maybe turn on a podcast in the morning to get your mind into the right mindset to conquer your day and make good decisions, healthy decisions. You're the kind of person that, listens to the wellness and health podcasts in the morning, which means you're also the kind of person who makes the good decisions when it comes to lunchtime. And then you're the kind of person who ends their day with a really good dinner because you've planned in advance. And those things will make your journey easier. Instead of fighting against your nature and your behaviors and your autopilot, you're going to retrain your behaviors and your autopilot into the ways that you want to behave. Okay, well, our time is already up. I feel like these 30 minutes always go by so quickly. To recap, Healthi is more than just the app. There are some really great things on the app, like meal plans and recipes and the community that you might not have checked out yet. And if you have not, I highly recommend you do so. But there's more to Healthi than just the app. We have our member meetings where you can join Zoom conversations with other people on similar journeys. And there's a private Facebook group for that as well. We have our social media channels that post recipes, motivation, challenges, and other fun stuff. Also available on our social media. Anytime we post a blog, anytime we post a podcast, they're getting posted right there, easy for you to find and click into and go to. And then last but not least, I'm going to just quickly mention it. We, of course, also have Healthi Care, which is our GLP-1 program. And, if that is of interest, you can find a lot about that on the Healthi app website. You can also sign up for that program on there as well, which includes, meetings, the medication support by doctors, and all of that good stuff. Also available on the app is the blog, the recipes, and the quiz on which of our plans you might want to start off with. And with that, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your week. Hopefully, you learned something new today. And if you want to join the meetings, I hope I will see you soon in a meeting.